for NTPC, we have supplied. Then Muzaffarpur, this is a joint venture of NTPC, Kranti Bijli, NTPC and BSEB JV. So here also we have supplied the R&M. Then Toranagallu in Karnataka, JSW Energy, we have supplied. We are now staging FAT. Then GNFC Baruch, we have already done, which is almost getting completed. If you see here, Tenugat, first he placed an order for two subsystems, which we commissioned. He further placed an order for total C&I. So this we are going to stage. We are going to stage this with a new platform of BHEL, which we have extended the collaboration. So if you see here in R&M for hydro also we have done based on the needs. And also many projects of thermal and hydrostatic excitation, as I said, more than 200 to 250 sets we have done R&M. So these are the few things which we have done. Of course, this is not exhaustive. Some of them I have just taken as an example to show that how phased manner also it can be done and how total controls also can be replaced. If you see here, this only show you what it was before and what it became after. So there are these two separate units. If you see, before we had a conventional desk which got replaced into, this is one of them is Ib Valley thermal power plant of one unit what I have shown you. Unit 2 is at Vijayawada stage, unit 4, where we have replaced with large video screens. So the control room has totally changed from what it was to what it is. So this gives BHEL an advantage. Now we have changed over to MetsoDNA architecture. So this only gives a few idea of how these things can be integrated. Here if you see, we can also integrate into any field systems, field-based systems, it can be integrated. If we are replacing this into field-based systems, possibly we can replace and integrate into that. And this is also well protected with all cyber securities and other things. So I have only 2 slides, so bear with me. I didn't see your time, possibly you would have shown. So this is one of the architectures. Possibly this will be covered in detail by our other speakers. We have a lecture by our Damodar Valley Corporation along with BHEL on total automation solution. Possibly that time it will be in total covered. I just have put it because this is the architecture which we are going to follow for Tenugat R&M. So that is the idea why I put this. So these are the advantages with this new system. Thank you. So migration is inevitable. Let us face that. Thank you.
If there are some questions, please, we'll ask BHEL speaker to take on.
You mentioned about this cost-benefit analysis or this thing, but in many cases, what happens that say current existing plant or this thing itself is giving a good benefit to the company. So then the main concern is how to justify, put a justification note to the management for justifying the upgrade, because for management it is system is running and will continue to run. So that is the thing. But the people responsible for maintaining or upkeeping the system, they have the concern which is most of the time is not well understood by the management. And maybe because we can't tell when the failure will take place or this thing, and that is going to give a big and there are not clear-cut guarantee by the vendor. Some vendors tell it will system will obsolescence, as far as obsolescence is concerned, will survive for 10 years. Some vendor are telling 11 years, and companies are demanding up to 25 years. So there is no this thing synchronization or takes place, and after 10 years vendors also keep on saying I don't have manpower and this thing to maintain this thing, so it is only spares or this thing, then the old system never gets upgraded or doesn't give benefits what the current offerings available from the new vendors. So that is the big challenge. So maybe cost benefit analysis sometimes is not sufficient for I mean may not be required. Management should have a view in line with the latest technology, what benefits, because latest technologies are not only offering only control this thing. As you mentioned, like asset performance management and other many remote monitoring and remote support, those features are not given by. So those benefits, although are intangible, those also need to be become difficult for management to convince.
So your question as a supplier, I'll answer differently, because see, first aspect is cost benefit analysis. When we do, as you have rightly put it, there are two components of cost, three components rather, I'll put it this way. One component of cost is, are you improving any production? It can be anything, it can be power, it can be manufacturing, it may be quality, whatever it is. That is one portion, that is real cash, what we see. Because in immediate cash, I should not say real cash, it's an immediate cash. So second aspect of looking at it is on spares and maintenance management. This is a huge cost today in this today's environment, as rightly our respected Srivastava Sahab has put it. The deplenishing and aging maintenance and operating staff puts a lot of strain on. And no, I don't think any young or any good fellow will be very able to just got into the control room and start operating. So this is another benefit of cost. Third intangible cost, which really gets into you, is from today you are going to have 10 more years this system, which you are not sure. This cost cannot be qualified actually. So these are the three components of cost. Some comes, benefit comes. See, there are upgrades. Of course, automation has a very little or a very less or maybe negligible role to play in upgrading any plant. For example, if it is a 100 or 110 megawatt plant, if it has to become 120 or if it has to become 150, the amount of automation, the value added by the automation to upgrade that from 100 to 150 megawatt is very negligible or very less. Whereas the mechanical equipments and other associated things are more. So if you are looking at that type of improvements, maybe it is very difficult to get into a cost benefit analysis in a DCS migration. Maybe when you upgrade a system, when you upgrade a thermal plant, yes, I do agree, where there will be guarantees. Of course, it is associated with the guarantees. The cost is associated with the guarantees. Because as if you look at any AMC of 1 year more or 2 year more, nothing comes free. Let's be very clear. Any vendor for that matter, you buy a TV without AMC, with AMC, there is a cost difference. You buy a mobile with insurance, without insurance, there is a difference. You buy watch with warranty, without warranty, there is money. So anything, any advantage of this benefit and cost has to be looked in at that aspect. But of course, DCS has a different kettle of fish to play. I agree with you, the obsolescence of electronic industry is so high, and no DCS vendor can guarantee you after 5 years, is he going to have the same thing or not. So there are being in a public sector environment or a government environment wherein I have my own commitments to serve the end users. I have my own ways of handling a 10 years spares, 5 years spares, 15 years spares. But it may not be possible in an electronic industry to have a huge inventory of components. You may use, you may not use. If your failure rate comes down, you may not buy my spares. So these are the aspects which we need to look at. But cost benefit, if you want to look at it, you have to look at all the three components separately. If you are looking at operational improvement, if you are installing some solutions of software based on operational improvements of heat rate of maybe 1 kilocalorie, 2 kilocalorie, whatever it is, so that you have to look at separately. If you are upgrading because of obsolescence and spares management and maintenance management, you have to look at separately. If you have an upgrade which you have to look at for the long-term standing, then you have to look at separately. So this is how we have to look at the cost-benefit analysis. In my opinion, of course, it's only my supplier point of view what I told. And taking 10 years guarantee for the system spares and services, maybe it's a solution. but again it adds to the cost. So that is the idea. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you once again.
Before Ananda leaves, I request Mr. Andy Chadda to give a moment to him. After this speech, we had originally planned a panel discussion, but I think we are really running short of time. So one possibility is, if there are some more questions, I can request the speakers to speak, or any other person wants to supplement the speaker's presentation. Anyone else wants to volunteer and give some more comments, they are welcome. Anyone? Andy?
I'll make a comment. I think we had a really excellent presentation from NTPC and BHEL. I think it's becoming very clear. Number one, I think IT, automation, our systems are becoming very complex. And number two, it's easy, actually, to buy new systems, or maybe, hire somebody to buy a new system and so forth. It is much more difficult to maintain systems at peak performance, or upgrading systems. It's much more difficult. These decisions are very difficult because companies around the world, in fact, are facing these decisions. And I think over the next couple of days, I'm sure we are going to have a lot of good discussion, which hopefully can help us make these decisions. So I think we have had a terrific start, excellent presentation, and we look forward to continuing these discussions over the next couple of days. Thank you very much, and let's have a tea break now.
A small announcement for the sponsors. ARC Advisory Group wants to give the opportunity to the sponsors to have one-to-one meeting with the customers. So I would request the sponsors to have their one-to-one meeting with the customers tonight, as the ARC Advisory Group will be hosting the dinner tomorrow at 7 p.m. I would request all to join the dinner. Thank you. I request everyone to come back at 4 o'clock, so we can have a tea break now.